We finally get some viewership data for Critical Role's The Mighty Nein, a much-loved Final Fantasy is becoming an animated series, and Henry Cavill gives us an update on his Warhammer cinematic universe.
It's about damn time.
Before we dive into Mighty Nein ratings and Warhammer updates on this post-holiday edition of the Fantasy News, why not take a second to hit those like and subscribe buttons? We always appreciate it, and it really does help these videos out when you do. And then, let's dive into the news. We finally have some preliminary viewership info on Critical Role's The Mighty Nein, and while we were expecting the show, which was consistently hitting the top 5 on Prime Video in North America and Europe, to vie for a spot on the Nielsen streaming chart's top 10 for original series, that hasn't happened so far. The Legend of Vox Machina has only made the list once back in its first season, but given how well the Mighty Nein show seemed to be performing, we'd expected it to crack that list. However, looking at the data, not a single Prime Video series has made either the overall top 10 or the original streaming programming top 10 in weeks and weeks, with Netflix and Hulu dominating, and the Stranger Things final season in particular absolutely decimating all the competition, with nearly 8 times the minute watched of the second place series. But despite facing some frankly brutal competition, with Stranger Things finishing up the first part of Mighty Nein's run and then Fallout Season 2, the one Prime Video sure to crack the top 10 list in a big way, coming out at the end of the run, it still seemed to have performed extremely well. According to the different set of metrics used over at Television Stats, which tracks the popularity of shows through engagements and mentions, it's currently the number 12 ranked show out there and peaked as high as number 5 during its run. So clearly it's still drawing some big numbers and big attention, if not quite the chart-climbing success we initially suspected just yet. Still, against perhaps the toughest competition an animated Critical Role show has ever faced, including the end of that Stranger Things franchise that helped launch the D&D boom alongside Critical Role itself, and the return of the second biggest Amazon show of all time in Fallout Season 2, it more than matched the numbers we saw for last season on The Legend of Vox Machina. We still think we could see the show crack that Nielsen streaming originals list to end its run. After all, we only have data for about half the episodes so far, with Nielsen being about a month behind, and more episodes means more potential minutes to watch. But for now, it seems like The Mighty Nein is definitely a success. It may just take about 3 more weeks to find out the overall scale of it.
Patience, my friend.
In other Nine-based news, Final Fantasy IX appears to be getting an animated series after all, despite the project being dropped by its initial studio after they declared bankruptcy earlier this year. The animated series will be aimed at ages 6 to 13, which is not exactly music to the ears of the fans of that game, which, in case you forgot, came out 25 years ago, so, not a lot of 6 to 13-year-olds playing it. And according to French television and film production magazine Écran Total, it appears to be based on the same Black Mage legacy storyline that the original studio was planning on creating, which would focus on the 6 children of the iconic Black Mage Vivi, and be set about 10 years after the events of the game itself. The initial pitch and artwork was created by Cyber Group Studios, who had to let the project go after filing for bankruptcy this year, letting this new French studio take over the project instead, with eyes on a 2028 release date. According to this new article, the story is about Vivi's children who are living happily in the city of Alexandria until one day one of the children gets frozen like a statue, leaving the other kids to find out what happened and if their father's legacy could somehow be catching up to them. All in all, despite its younger target audience, we'll never turn down the chance to see some animated Final Fantasy, so hopefully the show goes from in development to in production in time for that 2028 release.
It's a waiting game right now.
And finally, Henry Cavill tossed some polite but serious shade at his former Witcher employees over at Netflix while discussing his new Warhammer series at Amazon, saying that his time working with the Warhammer series feels so different than his previous work on The Witcher during an interview with Man of Many. Cavill said that, quote, "Having my hand at the tiller rather than at the whims of others, especially for something that I love so dearly, has been a reassuring experience. Warhammer is unique and complex enough all by itself. It's about reflecting that uniqueness on screen and on the page. It's a challenge I'm enjoying." That statement clearly seems to confirm that the actor was not happy with the constant changes from the source material happening during his time over at The Witcher and his lack of control over that final product. So if you were still wondering if those rumors of his discontent with the creative team at The Witcher were true, no real need to wonder anymore, as Cavill seems pretty frustrated with the way that series turned out, but at least in this most recent update, he's once again confirmed that he is still in control of the story and the direction of this new Warhammer project, and we expect to finally get some big news about exactly which story he, Games Workshop, and Amazon finally settled on for the first series when we get the first big info drop about their new universe sometime in 2026. And that's all the stories we have for Fantasy News Friday today. Let us know what your favorite story was down in the comment section, and don't forget to hit those like and subscribe buttons.